Good evening, guys. Welcome to this episode of the Malkan Show. It's 6 in the evening. We chose to have this time because it's holy day, it's holy celebration. Wish all of you a very, very happy Holi. Have fun and play safe Holi with colors and water. So tell me, guys, before we begin, tell me who's joining from where this evening. Let's have a quick look here. Who's joining from where? Vikas Patil here from Mumbai. Hello, Vikas. How are you? Hi, Falak. Yes, we've begun now. It was a little late. Hi, Rohan from Mumbai. Uh, Good evening to all of you who are joining here. It seems that everybody down is in a festive mood. Children are now playing Holi, splashing colors and waters on each other, and the spirit of Holi, the festival of Holi, brings in so much of positivity and hope for all the good things in life, isn't it? So each of you should take the time out tomorrow and celebrate this festival with all your loved ones, with your friends and family. Wish you too a happy Holi, Kailash. That's Rahul from Mumbai. Hi, Vaishali. And then we have Amar from Pune. We have Bala from Chennai. Hi, Bala. How are you? I missed meeting you in Chennai.
Sure.
Vishal. Hi, Vishal. For those of you who are here, that's Uday from Kolhapur, please share this video. We've just begun. We need more people to be on the video so that we can share more. Today's topic is something so close to my heart. We're going to talk about reading and how we're going to talk about a lot of concepts on reading and why it is important, how to go about it, how to beat the lacks, for those who are not able to really get the hang of reading. So we're going to discuss all of this. For those who feel like sharing the video, please do it right away so that your friends and loved ones, your colleagues can participate. And as usual, since the topic again is reading for today, most of you have read the book. So many of our students have read the book called #Cashtags. If you have not done it, you should go to this link here what I've written down and get a copy for yourself. The book not only talks about trading, but also a lot on mindset and how to cover risk. I recently met a few people on a seminar once. None of them were traders, but then they shared that, ma'am, what you've written in the book applies to us as non-traders as it applies to traders, which is such a wonderful thing to hear. And that is actually the intention. The intention was never to connect just with the traders, but on the mindset part, whatever is spoken, the stories that we've shared of our lives are much more than, they give you much more beyond trading. And that's how it is, how we work. We work not only just with trading, but beyond that. So if you've not got a copy, grab it right away. Now, coming to the session, coming to the topic of the session, the topic is very close to my heart, and also it's something that I so much rely and so much motivate people to get into, that is reading. All the top performers of the world, if you talk about the best of best in the business and the best on the planet, be it Oprah Winfrey, be it Mark Zuckerberg, be it Warren Buffett, they all have been avid readers in their life. The famous quote of Warren Buffett, what he says is he reads about 5 to 6 hours every day. Bill Gates says he reads so many books every month on all those topics that interest him. That's what he says. Oprah Winfrey says if she doesn't read, she's not able to connect well with life. That's reading has been her passion from so many years. Elon Musk, he said that he read the whole of Britannica. That the whole, it's a general knowledge thing, which is a fun thing for kids. He read the whole Britannica before he was even 9 years old. Now imagine the power of reading. If it has shown the best of results in these guys' life, how much deep and intense results would it have on people like us if we get on to reading, or get on to reading into a specific subject that we're interested in? Think about it, guys. So reading is something which is inevitable. Now tell me this, why read? If I ask you this question, why should we read? There are so many things that come out. One of the things we just discussed, that all high performers and success leaders, you can say, are readers, which means you can never succeed or get high in life without reading. That is one thing, especially in this world, in this day and age of a quick fix thing, of videos. You switch on the video, we're just doing it right now, switch on Facebook, switch on YouTube. It's a quick, because videos give you a quick shot of information, the information that you need, that would take you quite some time to decipher from a book. Here it is, you have it on a platter in a video. But why read if you can get especially in this world of quick fix, it becomes all the more important to read, because reading is the rigor that is there in reading, the focus that you have in reading, and also the depth of the subject that you get by reading a book, you can not have by watching a video. A video it transfers information from one person to another very quickly, but that's not the case with the book. You really go deep down, you focus, there's so much of depth, so much of reader rigor when you read a book. So it's very different. That's the reason you should be reading a book. One more important thing is, the second thing here when it comes to reading is, when you're reading, you're actually having a conversation with the author, which means, how about having a nice conversation with a cup of tea at night in your bedside with Elon Musk or with Martin Luther King? How about knowing them, or with Steve Jobs? How about having a conversation with them? How exciting does that sound? That's exactly how it happens with reading. When you read a book, you're having a conversation with the author of that book. That is such an elated feeling to me. It really gives me goosebumps. Think about sitting and chatting with these people right in the comfort of your home. You get access to what they think, how they think, what is it that they want to share, what message is it that they want to give you. You get all of this by sitting in the comfort of your home. How many of you can relate to when I say this, that when you read, you feel the connection with the author? You feel that you're really connecting with that person. You feel so close to that person. Has any of you experienced this, which is such a wonderful feeling? How many of you have experienced this? I would love it if you share it in the chat box below, in the comments below. Yes, so Kashyap says reading is one activity that helps us focus and engage. So true. It helps you engage. It's constant engagement that's happening. It helps you focus on the subject, because there are few books that really take you deeper into the subject. Very good. Thank you for sharing. Reading is nothing but silent conversation. Yes, that's silent conversation that you're having when you're reading that book. Very true. Nilesh says he can relate to it too. So that's what reading does to you guys. When you read, this is what it does, helps you have conversation. There are people who have built their empires and have written the books. Why do it all by yourself? You have someone, why not get it how they have done it? They've done it all. That gets into the second point, that the third point, sorry, when you read, you really collapse your time zones. The thing that would have taken you about a decade or 15 years to set up, that huge company, the huge enterprise that you always wanted to, it would take you years to set up and get to the A level in your game. But when you read about people who have already done that. They shorten they shorten your journey. For instance, I have had people sharing with me, when they read #cashtags, they say that reading about the struggles that Vishal and you have faced have given me so much perspective, have given me so many ways of not to trade, which means now, I don't have to trade that way, right? So our struggles have gone ahead and shortened your journey. What else do you need? So the best of the best books on the planet have been written by the greatest of the minds on the planet. When they have shared their journey, how they've done it, just take their journey, read their lessons, pick up their pain points, make up your notes. This is what this person has done. When I used to read about the biggest of traders, you have books like Market Wizards, you have my favorite book, which is Jesse Livermore. I particularly made note of the mistakes that they have made in their career, their failure zones. What did Etsy Cotta do? What did Dr. Van Tharp say about it? And then made their notes, and there it goes on my study table in my softboard. That this is it. This is what I'm not supposed to do. So read it. Go ahead and read, guys. That will definitely shorten your timelines of what you want to realize. And the fourth and the last point is, reading always sustains hope for you for the future. There are times when the economy is made to be as if it's very grim. There are times when the whole world is made out to be as if everything is dismantling around you. You get that kind of feeling. But when you read these great books and study about these great people, the positivity really catches up with you. And then you realize all is not bad after all. The world is a good place. The world is a beautiful place. So reading sustains hope. So these are the 4 points, or I may say the 4 reasons, which should really get you out of your bed and get you reading. The best gift that you can give yourself is the gift of books. And for those whom you have children, I would strongly recommend, when you have these little moments in your life when you have to really gift your child, or to make it a family moment. You have Diwali, you have the Christmas, you have Easter. You're trying to make the festive celebrations a notch ahead by gifting each other. You know what you should be doing? You should be gifting books. That's what I've been doing with my children all the while. Whether I travel, leaving them alone on a business trip or attending a seminar or something, they always expect me to get back a goodie for them. And they always know that the goodie that their parents are going to get them are nothing but the books. And I've always believed, I always feel that the home which has a room full of books, a home full of books is the most beautiful place to stay on the earth. It gives so much of warmth, it gives so much of positivity to your house. So for those who have a well-built library in a house, take a bow. It's the best thing that you've done for you, yourself, for your family, for your children. That's the best legacy that you can give your children. I recently had the launch party of my book called #Cashtags, and then friends and family are pouring in with gifts, etc. My father just calls up and asks me, Meghna, what is it that I can give you? And I straight away give him the list of some 4 to 5 books. I said, Dad, if you really want to give me something, just out of pure love, it is this that you can give me. These books, these set of books which will adorn my library, and I'll be so much. I feel proud when I own a book. And that's one of my most precious possessions. My books are my most precious possessions. So that it should be. Now let's move on the other side. There are people who come and say that it's very difficult to fit in this reading thing between all the things that I do. I'm a full-time business person, or I have a full-time job. I need to commute to and fro. I can't reading while I commute, or I'm a full-time mom. I don't get time to read. So these are the kind of things, especially so because when we coach our people, when we coach students into the training program that we run, what happens is reading is an integral part. As soon as they enroll, they're given this list of books to read. And so that's inevitable. So all the more reasons I need to keep sharing with them. I need to keep, positively pushing them to read. And this is what I found out, guys. The common mistakes that we make when we start out on the journey to read is, number one, most of us think that reading a book is reading the entire book from cover to cover, which is not right, guys. You don't need to read a book from A to Z of that book, including the acknowledgements and including the everything in that book. You don't need to read that, including the jacket intro for some people. It doesn't work that way. Every book has a message. Every book has a key message. If you ask my book, the key message is there are 4 key pillars to trading, which is right mindset, the risk, the tools, and the systems. If you get this key message, you're done with #Cashtags. So every book has the key message. Get on to that message. You don't need to read every paragraph of the book. How do you get to that key message is what you ask. Look at the title, look at the chapters, read about the author beforehand. What is the key message that the author is trying to give? Watch his TEDx talks or watch his YouTube videos. Know what the author is all about. And then that gets you easy to get what is the message that he's trying to give you through the book. Simple. So don't get in the fallacy of really reading the book on, cover to cover. It doesn't work. Read the important message. There are people who read books in 2 hours. Nevertheless, I've never been able to do that. I'm striving to get there. But the closest that I've been to reading a book is a day. It takes me at least a day, say about 6 to 7 hours uninterrupted. Blocks of time to gut down a book. And that's how it should be. You can master your own record here. That's the first point. The second thing is, when people say what stops people from getting through reading a book is they find it as a compulsion, that if I'm a trader, if I'm someone who loves to trade, I have to read trading books. There's no have to read ever. There is love to read. If you love to read on a specific subject, you will end up completing the book. If you have to read the book, if you have to read Jesse Livermore, if you have to read Market Wizards, it's not going to work that way. It's like you're dragging each page of the book, and it doesn't work. You'll yourself become a drag while dragging each page of the book. You can't carry the book on your shoulder while forcing yourself to read. How many of you can relate to this when I say that we end up dragging books? I have been there, I've done that. I've experienced that in my life. There was a time when I really wanted to read about very specific subjects. You can tell me something about cooking. I found out something that I used to drag myself on cookery books. But what happened in the end was I was never able to finish them. because I was not doing it for the love of it. I was doing it because I thought I have to do it. How many of you can relate to this? Yes, you think it works that way for you? Yes, thank you. How many of you can feel that, when you're reading, you're just dragging? You can share your experiences here, guys. How has that worked for you when you've read it that way? Has it really worked for you? Were you able to complete the book, or you just left it somewhere midway? I've left so many books midway and in the end realized, or somewhere in the midway realized, this is not something that I want to read. I'd rather read something that I love to read rather than just drag it along, right? So that works on the dragging. What Les Brown suggests is every day people who read, at least 30 to 40 pages. If you have the discipline of reading minimum 30 to 40 pages every day, that's what I tell my participants of the program too. You're done, you're sorted. What happens is there are two things that are happening when you're doing this. First, you're reprogramming your brain every time that this is how it's supposed to be. This is your daily schedule. Also, you're giving the second thing that's happening here is you're taking small doses of information. So for a person who is just not used to doing this, the information comes in small bits and pieces. It becomes really easy for to decipher, to put in that information, to swallow that information, live that information the next day. So it works beautifully for those people who are just getting set into the trend of reading. It becomes a part of a daily routine, just as you fill up a gratitude journal every night. Just leave about one more 20 to 25 minutes prior to do your journal, prior to when you do your journaling, and sit down and read. That's all. Don't forget, guys, the last thought on this is, when you read, you set the trend in your surrounding to read. So when, for those of your parents here can relate to this, when children see their parents reading, curling up in the bed with a book at bedtime, that's when they get this message that reading is an activity to be done daily. My parents are doing it. That's what the ritual is at our place at the Malkans. With both me and Vishal are compulsive readers, and we always end our day with reading. So that when the children see us reading, it's a signal to them that this is how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to end your day with reading. In fact, reading conversations begin in a house at the dinner table. Everybody raises their hand at what is it that they're going to read today, which is the pages of, for my daughter who is all about 6 years old, for her it's a couple of pages. For my son it's a couple of chapters, who's 10-year-old. So it all begins that way, where people are more into it, becomes a habit, it becomes a way of life. And by default, even when you travel, you cannot travel without a book. That's how it happens. So reading is absolute must if you want to grow, if you want to really have conversations with these big people out there who have really achieved a lot in their life with a lot of positivity. The third point is it really collapses your timeline. When you try to read, you achieve things faster based on their experiences. And the fourth one is always sustains hope, especially in times of negativity. You see social media, you see print media, everywhere around so much of negativity. Sometimes it feels that we're losing it. We're in the end of the world. Sometimes it gives you that kind of feeling. But reading sustains hopes. So, and the three to-dos are: do not attempt or do not go in this endeavor of reading the book end to end. It doesn't work. Go on the key message. Develop the love for the book and not the willpower to read the book. And the third is, make it a practice, make it a habit, a ritual in your family, and see how beautifully it works not on you and your family. Then more brainstorming will happen on what kind of books to get, what kind of books you want to gift each other, what kind of library you want to build. Robin Sharma says poor people have huge TVs in their houses, and rich people have books. And there I've heard about people, I don't know if it's I think it's Elon Musk, I don't know, that he used to consider his library so sacred that a person before entering his library had to remove his shoes outside and then enter and take a bow to his library. How beautiful is that? Such reverence for the collection of books he had. I love to have the same reverence for the books that I have. They are the treasures, you hold. Jim Rohn says that reading is something, if you don't, for a person who doesn't read is same as a person who cannot read. Reading is to your soul what food is your body. And my son loved one of Jim Rohn's quotes so much that he actually cut it up and put it on his cupboard, that skip a meal if you have to, but do not skip a book. He really fell in love with that. He said, Mama, isn't this beautiful? Can I cut it up, put it on my cupboard? I said, yes, do that. Which explains you, no better quote can explain the importance of reading this way. To skip a meal if you have to, but never skip a book. Imagine if Jim Rohn, a person who is such a mentor to so many millions of us, if he has to say this, imagine the importance of reading. So tell me, guys, how does it work with you? How to start reading habit? Can you help me with that? Of course. So when you want to start a habit, I just mentioned, try to do it every day for, try to do it for 21 days in a row, just 30 pages every day. In the night or the bedtime when you retire for bed, when you end your day, just before you say your prayers or just before you write your gratitude for the day, sleep with you. I have a book by your bedside, and always have a book when you travel. That means it's always present in your mind that you have to read. Make it a habit for 21 days, and then you'll find something missing if you don't read at bedtime. It could be anything. Some people ask me that, is it okay if I begin inculcating the practice by just reading fiction? That's fine. That is going to develop your love for fiction. It doesn't always need to be self-help books. I know that could be a drag on so many of us. That's completely fine. But the very fact that you're reading, you can read Dan Brown, you can read Harry Potter, for heaven's sake. That is such a delightful read. So read anything, but get into this practice of reading, and then you see how beautifully it's going to do that. Reading is great. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging. And I know the more you do that, the more it's going to start ticking with you, start clicking with you, and starting to give you results. Readers are leaders. Some of my team members have commented. Good. Thank you. Reading is to mind what exercise is to body and what food is to body. Thank you so much. That's the fact. While reading books, it is good to take notes of important points. Absolutely. Keep highlighting. That's what we tell our students. Make a summary of the book so that when you have to reread, when you have to revisit the book, some books are classics, guys. For a book such as The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma or The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, I don't think they are books to read once. They are the kind of books, they're your guides for life. You always want to be reading Secret. I think Secret is a must read once a year. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is a must read once a year for me. Some books are must. Jesse Livermore is a once read for a trader every 6 months, I would say. So some books are must read. So when you make a summary or when you highlight it in the book, the next time you have to revisit the book, you only read your highlights or the summaries. You could even, one more thing that I do practice, one more practice is, after you've just about finished reading the book, discuss the whole book with someone. Walk up to a friend, say, I need an hour or two with you. Let's go for a coffee. Omit out the book to him or her. Explain the whole book. I do that. Me and Vishal keep doing that frequently with each other. If I discover a good read, I go out, we push off to a coffee shop, and then I omit the whole book out. This is what the author, these are the key points. Because then there are some books have a lot of actions to be taken on them. So if then again together you can brainstorm with your friend or your spouse on what actions that you can take in your life based on the book that you've just read. It works that way. So do that. These are all little things that help you get most out of the books that you read. So you may read one book vis-a-vis 5 books, but you're making the most from what you've read on the one book. My coach and my mentor, Brendan Bouchard, says he reads 52 books a year, which means that is one book per week. Jay Shetty says he reads 360. There's been a 365-day thing where he has read 365 books, which is one book a day. How phenomenal is that, guys? That is something we all should aspire to do at some point of time in our lives. One book a week. Every year I have my resolution where reading is a part of it. Some go through, some do not, but nevertheless, it takes me definitely one notch higher than where I was last year. Isn't it, guys? So do that. Once you do that, you'll realize. So Nilesh says, since last year, I've started reading. And if one day I miss reading, something is missing in my day. How beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Nilesh. This is the kind of, this is when someone asks Balaji, this is where it gets to the habit thing. Because it becomes a habit, you're so much used to it, right? And then it becomes a part of your life. Brendan Bouchard says, from habit, it moves on to your second nature. And from there, it moves on to your identity, who you are. So that should become a part of your identity, your second nature of who you are. Great. Thank you for sharing. So this was it, guys. Please, if you have someone who you believe could benefit from this, please don't hesitate. Share this video with them so that more people could participate and more people could benefit from it. And before I end again, go to malkanbook.com. Get hold of this book. This book is just not about the systems or anything. It's all about how to get how to know the 4 pillars which are so essential to trading. It's benefited a lot of people. I'm sure benefit you too. Can you suggest any book related to trading? Yes, I just did. That's #cashtags. So, and on a lighter note, yes. On a serious note, yes, you can read. If you want to read on simple thing on the technical stuff, You have Martin Pring, which writes really well. You also have, if you want to know how people have made it in trading, what are the mistakes they have made, learn from their life, Market Wizards set is an amazing one to read. You can also read Jesse Livermore on how to trade stocks. These are some of the few good books to read. Steve Nasson has also written very simple books on candlestick patterns. So I don't know if you're looking for these technical books, then Steve Nasson and Martin Pring. More on the trading and the mindset and the psychology, it's Jesse Livermore and Market Wizards. Do that, guys. Reading brings focus. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Please share this video, and I'll see you all next Wednesday, same time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.